myself. I said, boy, the future looks good. I'm an optimist. You see where I'm going, don't you? The future looks good. So what I did, I just walked up to him. You can't be afraid of brothers. It's not going to hurt you. A lot of people don't believe me, but you know where I'm going on that one. So I walked up to a couple and said, what's your name, guy? One of the kids gave me his name. I said, what grade? He said 8th grade. I said, what are you going to do next year? Where are you going to school? He said, well, Mr. Stringer, I'm going to Marquette High. Boy, you're talking about somebody who jumped up for joy. Marquette High School is one of the top high schools in the country, not just the city of Milwaukee State. Marquette High School. Another one told me, I'm going over to Bayview. One's going to Bayview. I told him, I used to have some real ties at Bayview High School. I'll tell you about that in just a second. Another told me he's going to one of the other schools. And then this other kid said to me, he says, Mr. Henry, I'm not sure where I'm going. I said, well, why are you saying that? Well, I'm not sure about what mama wants to do. I said, well, what's your dad think? This kid's 14 years old. He says, Mr. Henry, I haven't seen my dad in 14 years. He's talking about something that killed man. He says, I haven't seen my dad in 14 years. I'm being raised by my mother. She's normal and many instances in American society. And my grandmother. I said, that's okay. So each day I came over here for the last 6 weeks, because my grandson goes to school here. He's a 4th grader. I would come pick him up. I would talk to that kid. What are you going to do with your life? You know, he said, well, Mr. Ring, I'm only going to the 9th grade. I said, son, when I was in the 8th grade, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I was going to be a teacher.
Brothers and sisters, thank you for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion. And that was Mr. Henry, and that was at a Daddy Day. It was called a Daddy Day conference, and that was 2 years ago. And actually been volunteering 3 years now, but that was 2 years ago, and well, coming up on 3 years. And that was Mr. Henry, and he's an entrepreneur slash teacher. I think he's volunteered throughout the years in schools. He's been at many different schools. And I'll put the video in the end screen that's from him speaking right there. And it's just a little small clip. And again, that was 2 years ago. And it was other dads there. And it was a wonderful experience. And I thank those that have been riding along with the brother. Like I always say, we are leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Remember that. There's a teacher inside all of us. And it's not always, again, in the limelight or in front of people. It's a teaching spirit right in our families, right where we are. Because if you listen to this channel, you know what I always say. It always starts with us. You know, that righteous ripple effect. We start with oneself, children, family, and work our way out. And don't, you know, again, we can't get wrapped up in what's in front of us, because especially if it's not good for us and it staggers us, we can't focus on what's in front of us, because we won't see what's righteous beyond. You know, that's something one had to learn. So whatever I think, whatever helped me on this journey is what I'll express to others. I suggest, teach, and give advice. You know, I say that from time to time. You know, I want to stay at a level of teaching and keeping a student spirit. That's why you hear me say that a lot, because one wants to stay aware so I can help the general stay aware. Brother or sister, younger or older, family, you know, current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, I salute you, you know, and let's thank our ancestors, the righteous brother or sister that fought so very hard to get many of us in that great divine space that we are in. And something I like to say that's important: if we alive and breathing, guess what? We are back to conquer another day, another year, another decade. And don't you forget it. So, and I place that gold over our families. May all of our families prosper and everything we touch turn to gold. And I thank that great divine, calling down protection from that great divine, Mama Nature, in that universe. Protection for ourselves, from ourselves. So we what? Don't become our own worst enemy. I do that from time to time, you know, sending out a little protection. Those in the world, those online, and our families, our children, you know. We got to get real with this energy. You know, energy is real, but we have to practice it, know it, learn it, and get it embedded into our soul. Because as my son and I talked about, Lord Lamont, salute on the father and son discussion, our energy have to be right. A great divine doesn't place us in certain situations, or certain things don't happen unless our energy is right. Can't override that. And that's for anybody. There's no exemptions, no exceptions, no exceptions to the energy that we must carry, especially if we call ourselves a righteous brother or sister. And again, folks, that's for me too. Again, I always like to say, I don't like to tell one to do this or do that, and I'm not trying to do it myself, because it's actually better when we're actually putting in the work and putting things into motion. So that's what leads me to the title, brothers and sisters. Ounce of prevention and build a better future. That should be our focus. And we all heard that saying, ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Now, how can we do these things? How can we prevent things from happening? Getting involved in our personal lives, or in the world, and in these schools, as you see on my banner here, Mr. Nichols, Principal Nichols, which is a good brother, as you see on my banner here. And it's the Mighty Cougars is the name of the, is the name of the team of the school, the Mighty Cougars, So, and I've gotten to know the faculty and the children, and I want to also give a salute to the other volunteers I have met. I don't remember everybody. I don't know. I got to know everybody's name. I'll say remember, because some people I haven't, but I've gotten to know them. But I will, as I, get more involved and be there. And I know I've been there. Well, I only volunteer 1 day a week, so if I was there maybe more, I probably would get to know more of the names of the students. But I'm learning everybody's names. But salute to all the faculty, the teachers, the assistants, and the volunteers, and see the lunchroom supervisors, the security of the school, because it's a brother, I gotta get his name. The brother that's the security of the school, we talk all the time. It's wonderful. We have good talks. The principal, which is on my banner here, Mr. Nichols, which is a pretty cool name. Something about Mr. Nichols just sound cool. Tyrone Nichols. I didn't even know his name, so I just thought I'd kind of look it up and and just express the love for the brother. It can be, being a principal can be a tough job. I see it. So when we're inside, we get involved. That's where that ounce of prevention comes in. Because of course I see in the media, and there's some very sad things going on in this world, in some parts of our world. Here in Wisconsin, we had, unfortunately, a 15-year-old. I don't want to give him misinformation or too much, but we had an unfortunate incident at a school, another school shooting, and it involved 3 lives. The student, if I'm not mistaken, was a female 15-year-old, and and it was carrying a weapon, and it wasn't a knife, it was another weapon, and caused someone's I don't know if it was a demise or injury to 2 other victims, and it stemmed from bullying. So that's why we got to get involved. And this is parents. We got to stop just dropping our kids off at school and putting all the sole responsibility and accountability, on these teachers and faculty. Yes, now they're there to do a job, of course, that's what they get paid for. But we as parents, we have to get involved. And there was a time when I didn't get involved, back in the past, when I just wasn't aware, didn't know the importance of really being involved in our children's lives, not just at home and in school. And I salute to my son's mom, Ethan, and the rest of his siblings, the rest of my godchildren. His mom is very involved in their schooling. She goes to the parent-teacher conferences and everything. Now, she doesn't volunteer, but she gets involved. She calls, she stays on top of things. She talks to the principal if she has to, the teacher, they have her phone number, stuff like that. So that I commend her for. We got to pick that good out of there. Now, her and we're not together. Sometimes things just don't work out, but that doesn't mean that the love and the care and the discipline stops when it comes to the children. We can't get so wrapped up. And I'm talking about us as adults, brother or sister, because it's for me too. We can't get so wrapped up in our own petty feelings and insignificant, stupid things that we carry inside. And we take the the importance off the children. We got to keep that spotlight on the children, and because I'm getting involved, and it don't always have to be a dramatic thing. Some days, again, some days are smooth, some days are challenging, but we have to get involved, and it's wonderful when you get to know the faculty. And another salute to again, Mr. Henry, who spoke in the beginning. Salute to Mr. Henry. And I'm going to do another podcast with his picture on the front, so kind of get people to get to know him, because he's an old cat, you know what I'm saying? He knows some things, and he's made an impact on children in his life, as you heard in the beginning, as well as Mr. Nichols on the front here. Salute. He's a great brother, tall, and he looked like he could almost be in a movie. I think he would play a good movie role, and he really goes, he really gets involved with the kids, and he does things, like I volunteered yesterday, matter of fact, and he had on it's Christmas time, so he wore a little holiday outfit, just something for the kids. Kids like stuff like that, so that's wonderful to see a principal. He deals with a lot. You got the different faculty, the teachers, you got students. And I talked to him one day, he get emails coming at him, then you got parents calling. So it's a lot of different factors that a principal have to deal with. So I understand that now that I see for myself, I see what these children, well, not children, but see what some of these teachers go through. And I told a teacher yesterday, you're a good teacher, man. Even though sometimes they need to hear that, they go through a lot. When you're on the inside, you see it all. So going back, and salute to Miss Rainey, which is another sister that actually got me involved in volunteering. She just called me one day, and it stemmed from the Daddy Day conference that I played at the beginning. That was when I started volunteering. And so salute to Miss Rainey. She's the coordinator and kind of like the organizer of volunteers and getting parents involved in the school. She coordinates that. So salute to her. She's a very nice sister. She's not old. She's older, but not old. Very, very nice sister, man. And she stays on top of her job. Again, it can be challenging sometimes, Sometimes you might come in some days and teachers might have kind of a straight look on their face, but it doesn't, we're human, but inside they care, or they wouldn't be there, but the future is what we're building, brick by brick. That's what we do this for, not for recognition, not to be seen, not to look like we're, doing something to put on social media. No, it's the hidden things. It's the unsung heroes is the one that impact the world the most, because the great divine will put that spotlight on us when we're just doing stuff that great divine has called us to do. And that's young brother and sister, or older brother or sister, or family. Anyone can have that divine spirit that just give us that passion to do the right thing. And remember, and have fun. Make it fun. Make our passions and things that great divine call us for. Let's make it fun sometimes. It don't always have to be serious. And that's kind of a reminder for me. When I began speaking, I had to teach myself not to be so stern and relaxed. But it takes practice over time, learning social skills and and understanding one another and not getting caught in our emotions, and stay away from the judging thing and just understand one another and ride along with each other. That's what I always say. We are leaders and teachers with a student spirit. We are never no damn followers. Changing that damn narrative. So salute to those I mentioned, Mr. Henry, and which I'll put that video in the end screen. And salute to Principal Nichols, Mr. Nichols, and the lady I mentioned, Miss Rainey. Salute to her. Because she put that spark in me. She got me started. As well as Mr. Nichols and others, faculty members and teachers I have met at my son's school. My son Ethan and my goddaughter Chloe. Remember, they go to this school. And I've come to know a lot of my son's friends and some of my goddaughter's friends. I was leaving the school yesterday, and one of the young brothers said, "I like your outfit." I was like, "Oh, thank you." And you don't think about things like that. We just, most of us that are enlightened and impacting this world, whether brother or sister, a true blue brother or sister that's aware to the pit of the soul, we don't think about things like that. We just do it because that great divine called us. What, whatever we're doing, that's righteous and in its impact. If it's a small impact or a big impact, but we're impacting someone's life in a positive way. When you do it from the soul and with passion, and you are compassionate, you don't think about things like that. We just do what we do, and it's wonderful to be in that space. We're not looking, not looking for recognition, and just being the lights that great divine called us to be, So it was nice, and that lets you know that the students, I'm telling you, energy is real, and students notice this. The more we get involved, especially in these schools, and I don't care whatever school it is, we begin to see and feel the connection with the faculty and the students. But what's really important is the students. And that just lets you know that they observe, they pay attention. So our presence alone is very impactful to the younger brothers and sisters and the older brothers and sisters, because you got the younger ones at my school, because it goes from, what is it? Was it first grade up to 8th grade, if I'm not mistaken. So when I go to lunch with my son's class and his sibling, his peers and stuff, when I'm leaving their lunch, then the bigger kids, they're coming down. So on my way out, my son's class and his peers, they're going to recess. So the other kids, the bigger kids, they're coming down to lunch, because my son's lunch starts at 11:30, and I think it ends about 12, something like that, a little after 12. Then the bigger kids come. So on my way out, as I'm walking, telling my son bye, and I'll see him, soon, and telling the other kids bye. And I start walking down the hall, and I see the other kids. And sometimes, if Chloe's with them, I didn't see her yesterday because she was on a field trip. And I say hi to Chloe and, some of her friends and stuff. And they always acknowledge me, and they notice, they like that. When they see parents, and this male or female, brother or sister, volunteering, I don't know, it just does something to them. It's like, because they're not used to seeing that. Seeing someone getting involved, it does something to a student's heart, male or female, brother or sister. I've noticed that. So I'm saying all that to say that student, the young brother that said, I like your outfit, that lets you know that they're watching, they pay attention. Kids see everything. I always say this, and this is something advice I'll give other parents or adults, never underestimate a young brother or a young sister. They see everything. They might not say nothing, but they have intuition and discernment just like we do. And they know good. They know when somebody is good, and they know when somebody is bad, even if they don't understand their discernment, because some of us, when we're younger, we have discernment, but we don't understand it till we get older and really know what it means. But a lot of youth have it. So when a gentleman told me that, it just, wow. And I felt that connection with that young brother. I was like, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and that sends a vibration to him. And then, he see him, it's good for especially young brothers. I mean, young sisters too. But it's good for our young brothers to see a man carry himself like a man, walk like a man, act like a man, with integrity. I'm telling you, seeing that changes a person's life. When we just have that light, and we're not looking to get anything, sometimes we're impacting a youthful person's life without even knowing it. And that's beautiful, So again, salute to Mr. Nichols and Miss Rainey I mentioned, and Mr. Henry, that was at the beginning that I let speak, that I played. And salute to the 3 sisters that's on my thumbnail. And I never met those sisters that I have on my thumbnail, but I thought it was wonderful, and they look like some beautiful sisters, and it looked like there's a brother standing behind them. And I just thought it was cool, School Spirit Award winners, and it was on the wall at my son's school, and they got a wall with a bunch of positive things on it. So I just thought I'd get the photo of these 3 sisters. Maybe I will meet them, so find out who they are and get their names. And I just wanted to show some positive energy of sisters, and everybody is needed, but everybody is needed and involved. We need all tools to build a good future, a better future, brick by brick. An ounce of prevention all day, every day is worth a pound of cure. And man, it's so wonderful. That's why I say the incident with the 15-year-old, man, that's terrible, man. It's terrible. It really is, and it makes me wonder. That's why we have to get involved, brothers and sisters. That's why we have to get involved, because we never know what's going on with these youth. We got to stop looking at the surface and just want to punish them. We have to talk to them and get into the core of them and see what's going on with them so we can prevent things from happening. And that's really sad. And my heart goes out to the families, to the victims and the shooter, the family of the shooter. And she she took out, I know she injured one, she injured two people, or I don't know if I think the student is in critical condition, but I think the teacher came to their demise, allegedly, if I'm not mistaken. And the 15-year-old took herself out. It's really sad, man. It's sad, man. I hate hearing stuff like that. It's sad. I don't like it, because you know I know what it's like to have, back in the day, when you're not in the, quotation marks, popular group or whatever, and you got people picking on you. When you're young, you don't know how to deal with your emotions. You don't know how to deal with things. And if you don't have no one to talk to or some kind of outlet to release depression or things that's going on within, especially a young child, 15 years old, dealing with peers, because peers can be very, very mean. I've been through that. I never really been bullied, but kind of like I know what it's like to be an outcast and not being in the in crowd, so to speak. But those who are wise, we find out later on we didn't miss nothing. So that's all we got. We got to know we're not missing anything. Be true to oneself and do the best we can where we are, and be led by that great divine. Real talk. So, but we learn that over time. But at a 15, when you're 15 and you're young, we don't know how to deal with our emotions. So, man, that's why we have to have an ounce of prevention and focus on building a better future and talk to these children and get to the core of their soul. I try to do that with my son Ethan the best way I can. And we can't let them, thinking that they're not listening, get to us. No, we be overbearing, not overbearing in an irritating way, but we override their behavior. Remember, never look at the surface. We have to investigate where the behavior is coming from, young brother or young sister. And because I volunteer, as you see, I got on my banner, volunteering, with the award-winning sisters. I got on my banner. Salute to these three sisters, because I'm sure they put in the work. See, they got the T-shirts on, and the Mighty Cougars, and it's wonderful. And like I say, everybody is needed, especially melanated. It is, everybody, but melanated especially. We need our melanated brothers and sisters. That is very impactful for our young melanated brothers and sisters. Real talk. So, and I'm seeing this volunteering, telling you, energy is real. Our presence along parents, adults, us at these schools, a righteous presence, best way we can. Again, we're human. Every day is not going to be, easy. Some days are going to be challenging, but let it come from a place of caring and a place of love. Let's try not to, I volunteer. I'm not getting paid, but for those who get paid, try to get away from that. Tap into our divine creativity. Think of other ways to not make it look like a job and make it fun. We have to create ways to make it fun. You have to, don't let children's behavior stop us, from forgetting why we started helping this youth in the first place. Because I'm telling you, when we truly, truly care and we truly, truly do love these kids, they will see in the end. Even the ones that's hard-headed and act like they don't want to get it. Remember, folks, we were children at a time. Might have been a different time, different generation, might have been a different way, but still, we were children at one time too. So that's what centers me, because I'm telling you, I don't want to hear no more about it, because it's another incident here in the Milltown where it was an altercation with a 13-year-old and end up shooting another individual, which was 32 years old, allegedly, and there's two incidents that happened in 1 week. And I'm telling you, it's terrible. I hate hearing stuff like that, and I wonder what was going on with that 15-year-old that I heard that went back up to that school. Man, if somebody just could have got to that child and talked to that child. That's why we can't shun children when they're trying to talk to us. We have to listen to them. They be trying to tell us things and we don't listen, when things happen. I hate hearing that kind of crap. And I would do whatever I can in one's power, in my power, to prevent my children from getting involved in any kind of violence or any other child I'm next to. Because all children are our children, building a better future. Because we never know what, as human beings, as I always say, we don't know what's coming down the road. We are not psychics. But if we are aware of things and we have that art of anticipation, we could almost see the future, almost, But if we in that right space and we're trying to learn, and I'm telling you, be as aware as we possibly can, because I don't want to place blame on anyone, but it has to fall back on the parents. Even me, things I did, when I wasn't responsible back when I wasn't aware, when I had children, or when well, I still got children, I had children, but in the early stages, just wasn't aware, wasn't responsible. We have to take responsibility. And in my opinion, those parents have to take responsibility for that child. Because I'm 9 times out of 10, just my opinion, I bet that child tried to talk to someone and the child probably got shunned. No one listened. And that's what happens. We never know what an individual's going through, an adult too, but we talking about children right now. We never know what a child is going through, and that's male or female, brother or sister. So that's something I'm learning. That's why I talk with my son, Lord Lamont. That's why I speak with him. He's been through things. Me and him had a rocky relationship as father and son, and that's why me and him do father and son discussions. It's way bigger than just creating content. When you get real in your heart, it gets real talk. When you really start getting involved and you start seeing changes, you start seeing results, it makes you want to do even more and build an even better future. And we do start preventing things, and we don't be stuck in the woulda, coulda, shoulda, wouldas anymore. We have to start learning from incidents that happen and start preventing it. We got to stop stuff from happening and wait until after the fact. That woulda, coulda, shoulda syndrome, man. Yeah, I've been there, so I know what it's like. So again, my heart goes out to any families that have had youth that did something violent because of their behavior that wasn't dealt with. Again, I hold the parents accountable for not, or anyone, because I'm sure, again, I'm sure that child tried to reach out and probably didn't get the support and the love that child needed, because that's where it stems from. If a child telling you they getting bullied, you better check into it. I mean, it's serious. When you see a young child crying or going through something or being quiet, you better focus on that child. I'm telling you, it's the quiet ones we better pay attention to. Real talk. Not saying that all children that are quiet will end up doing something violent, but you just never know. So again, but I hold the parents accountable, but again, they couldn't anticipate something like that. But I think, in my opinion, it could have been prevented. It really could have, So we can learn from that, But my heart goes out to that family of the ones that, that were victims, and the ones that, well, they all were, to be honest. The shooter that was a victim, they all were. And, the 15-year-old ended up taking themselves out. My heart goes out to that family and the victims. It's anybody in that situation, my heart goes out to them. I call down protection, a great divine come in their life and soothe them and make that challenge as easy as possible. Because any family that's going through that, man, my heart goes out to you, because that's a terrible thing to go through. So that's why one gets involved, and that's why I do what I do. In my personal life, I try to carry the same things I tell one on these podcasts and these videos is the same way I carry myself on these podcasts is the same way I carry myself out on this world. Through the mix of the ups and downs and the mistakes and the human errors we're going to make sometimes in this human body. That's why we have to connect to that divine force, because of this human body. As I always say, folks, and pardon my French, the human flesh is not shit. And man, it would take you down the wrong road every freaking time. I don't care how clever, how sneaky, how conniving we think we are. It's gonna come back and bite us on the butt every time. I don't care who we are. So we might as well just try to be right as we possibly can. And I always gotta reiterate, it's not about being this deep spiritual person. Just start with the right heart. I'm telling you, and be creative in our mind and explore. And be dynamic when it comes to disciplining our children, ourselves. Man, I'm telling you, we'll be amazed what will come up in our subconscious. And when does it come up? When we meditate. So that's why you always hear me speak on meditation, brothers and sisters. It's so very important, because that's where our creativity comes from. Solutions for challenges, results, things we might It's just staying on top of ourselves. Like I said, a spiritual invoice. Things come up we may forget about, or things that's coming up we're anticipating. We meditate about it, especially if it's important, whether it's good or bad. It's always good to pause and take a moment. Pause for the cause, righteous cause. Get back on board and be on fire like the generals we are. And that's family, brother or sister, younger or older. So I said I was going to keep those updated on volunteering. And again, I volunteered yesterday. Wasn't bad. Couple of boys kind of running out in the hallway. The teachers didn't have it too bad in the classroom. Some kids are going to do what they do, but you have the teacher, then you have the assistant teacher that be in the classroom with them. And, children are going to do what they do, but that's why it's good to have us adults as volunteers and faculty right there, to do what we got to do to keep them on the straight and narrow. And I got to learn everybody's name. I'm learning some names. Spoke to a student yesterday, which was a young white boy, and not saying that only, and I know this is touchy, but not saying that only, Caucasian kids are the one that's shooters, but statistically, most of them have been Caucasian. Not trying. I don't know if that's facts, but statistically, the last mass shootings, a lot of them have been Caucasian. So, but I'm not here to place facts on that. I'm just bringing that up to, it's divine puts things in our path for a reason, more or less is what I'm saying. So I'm saying that to say, I spoke to a young white kid named Noah yesterday, and I treat every student the same. I don't care what race they are. I treat them all the same. They're just children. So it's good we can guide their minds. We can have an impact on their minds and guide them in the right direction. Again, folks, that's why I put that in the title, prevention. So not that I'm not saying that he would, grow up and be, and do something bad, but that's where the prevention comes in, because today's corrupt children would be tomorrow's violent adults. So that I kind of pondered that, but not placing it. And any kid can be like that. I'm not just saying white. Any child can. So, but I spoke to Noah, and he was a nice kid, and he was kind of crying and going through something. And I said, "Hey, you all right, man?" And he talked to me and everything. He wasn't. He didn't act like he didn't want to talk, or he talked to me and everything. So, "You okay, man? You all right?" He said, "No, I'm all right." I said, "Well, he was looking for the I think the lady she's a tutor, I think, a tutor, or she helps she has like a little reading class or something like that, and she was looking for that teacher, and couldn't find him. So I kind of talked to him a little bit, and I said, "It's gonna be all right, man. Just calm down. It'll be okay." And I think he ended up finding the teacher, and I just talked to him. I gave him a dap on it. I gave him a dap. Hey, I said, "Hi, what's your name, man?" He said, "Noah." I said, "My name's Eric." I said, "Need to talk? Just let me know." And shook his head. Just comfort him. Make him feel well. Let him know that somebody cares, not just brushing him off. And then I kind of seen him later on that day. I even sat in the classroom with him. It was him and a few other students, because one of the faculty members, which name is Miss Hattie. Salute to Miss Hattie. That's another faculty member I met, which is a really nice lady. And she had to go run some print. She had to go print some. She had to run a fax machine, or no, she has to print up some copies, she said. So I said, "Yeah, I'll watch him." She asked if I could watch him a little bit. So she had to run downstairs because it's a 3-level floor school. So I was like, "Of course." I'm telling you, Great Divine is magnificent. It's amazing how Great Divine works. You think that was a coincidence? No, Great Divine wanted me to go in that room. So I went in the room, and he was doing better. He was playing, and he wasn't crying anymore. He was playing with the kids. I guess all of a sudden he just felt better. You'd be amazed. The smallest little thing that we think is small to us will be impactful to a child. That's brother or sister, male or female. And I asked him, "Hey, Noah." He said, "Hey." I said, You feeling better? You okay? You feeling a little bit better?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm feeling a little better." See, that energy, brothers and sisters, energy. I might have helped that kid. We never know. And that kid, and this is another reason why we do righteous in the present. Because the youth we help in the present, they will remember us when they become adults. And that's the amazing part. Now, like on my banner, Award. That's our award for winning. That's how we win. When we impact the youth and they remember us later on. That's what's up. And I always think about that. Like my godchildren, students I talk to or try to help at my son's school, you know, and it makes my son feel better too. When he see me being involved with his other children, helping him, cause if we want to stop the bullying and see why our children if we have children maybe getting fights a lot or whatever, we have to get involved to see why. We can't just jump on our children. Stop fighting, stop fighting. No, we have to go to the school, speak to the child, not be mean to them, and just find out why they are fighting. That's what I did. And you will prevent a lot of things from happening that way. The advice I always love to give from my parents, dropping these kids off at school and daycare and whatnot, we have to visit at least once a week. We have to get involved and see what's going on. We have to pop up, surprise pop-ups. We have to be unpredictable to our children, So it keeps them on their toes. We never know when their parents going to pop up. And that's why I say salute to my son Ethan's mom. She used to do that. She actually, at one point when my godchildren and my son Ethan, when they were a little younger, they used to stay they stayed right across the street from the school they went to. And she used to be over there all the time. She always popped up on them. And that's how we keep our children in line. That's how we prevent things from happening. And that's how we can anticipate things and stay up on their behavior and things that's going on that they try to hide, That way, and we make it in a way, keep it in a way where they'll communicate with us too, parents. I'm not trying to act like I know everything. I'm just going off experiences. When we keep their communication lines open, they won't hide a lot from us. We'll know things. They'll come to us and tell us things. We won't have to dig and investigate. Because when we get involved, it makes things much easier and it prevents future behavioral problems with our child and other children. And don't just focus so much on our own child. Like I said, focus on other children. Like I had a child, like I go to lunchroom with the kids, and I had one of the kids bring me, because they had this paper and it has points on it when they do good and stuff like that. And they get so many points on a piece of paper. And one of my son's peers brought a paper to me, wanted me to see. And and it had good job on it from the teacher and all the good points he got and all that. I was like, wow, good job, man. And I'm telling you, the energy, when the child sees that an adult cares, it does something to him. I'm telling you, it's the most beautiful thing in the world to see. And children begin to show that they care, that we care. It's wonderful. And that start building that connection. And I swear, when I walk through that lunchroom, every child in there looks at me. Every child is drawn to that energy. And it's magnificent. It's wonderful. And my son sees this. And it builds him up. Makes him want to do better. And it'll also it's showing that I'm leading by example. Remember, if we lead by example, it's way, way more impactful. It took me some time to learn that, and I learned that from Mr. Henry that I had speaking at the beginning, and he looks good for older man. That's why I want to show him in the end screen. And that was 2 years ago, but I bet he still look good to this day, but they say black don't crack, but we can't get too lost into that. It's things we got to do for ourselves, healthy mind, body, and soul. It's things we have to, you have to eat right, get rest, and and deflect as much stress as possible to keep our black from cracking. So, but that's anybody though. If you take care of yourself, and you do what you're supposed to do, as far as our mind, body, and soul, we'll age gracefully. So Mr. Henry is a man, good looking dude for his age. Real talking. I don't know exactly what age. I'm guessing he's up close to maybe mid 60s, maybe close to 70, something like that. Mr. Nichols, same thing. Great looking guy. For you can tell life has been good to him. He takes care of himself. And I'm sure it's a part of him. He's been around his children so long, man, can't do nothing but care. And I'm sure he has a lot of connection with them. So again, salute to all the faculty and all the children I've met, and I'll keep marching on, forging on, and doing like so many other great brothers, righteous teachers and generals are doing out here. Doing what that great divine has caused so many of us to do. And that's whatever that is. Remember, folks, there's a trillion and billion gifts. Never let this world make us think our gifts are has a limit. We don't have no limit on our gifts. Our gifts are endless, you know. So endless and limitless. Real talk. So just remember that. And that's whatever gift that is. That could be taking care of the family. That's being able to be calm in challenging situations, being able to anticipate the future, because that helps too. Because that stems to a lot of things when we can, lead to a lot of great things when we can anticipate what's to come down the road. I mean, you can sidestep so much bull. We can anticipate things and have that prevention and build a better future. Real talk. So that was some things I had in my spirit. Like I said, I wanted to keep those updated on me volunteering. And again, salute to Mr. Nichols, which is on my banner here. And as you see, he said he's thrilled to have those be at his school. And just like how he cool in that picture, he just like that in real life. He human too, though. Human just like we all are. But he a good dude. Again, it's salute to all the faculty and teachers that I have connected with at this school, and they always welcome me in, and it's wonderful. And I'll keep on. I learn just as much from the students as they learn from me. And energy is real, folks. And like I said, my young brothers and sisters, they notice this. When they see we care and they see we love them, we'll see it play out in their lives. Righteous creativity. We got to be dynamic. We got to be different. Can't teach like, got to change some of the ways how we used to teach. Got to be a little different, because something I noticed about young youth, brother or sister, when I don't know, because they, a lot of them some of them now, not all of them, misbehave because they want attention, And I had a student ask me yesterday, a young brother, he said, "You volunteer?" I said, "Yep, I sure do." And you can tell when he asked me that means the wheels were turning, And the kids just wave at me and they say, "Hi, Ethan, Daddy." They call me Ethan, Daddy. My son, Ethan. And that's wonderful, And they always speak to me. They'd be so happy to see me. That's wonderful, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you. I say 1,000 times, what we do righteous in the present will forever, man, will benefit us in the future. All day, every day. That's facts, You just have to live it, put in the work, and don't let challenges knock us back, When we get wise, I say up in age or levels of self-awareness, we'll see that every challenge that we come into is just another lesson. What can I learn from this? How can I get something good out of this? How can I become better because of this? And keep evolving, keep growing, So again, that was in my spirit. And those who are volunteering, stay with it. For the adults who are involved, whether you're in the communities or in these schools or in your family life, stay with it. There's always great things coming for those who put in that work and who are righteous at the pit of that soul. I guarantee it. Great divine always guide us through. When we put things into motion and put in that action. Gotta put in that work though. That's something I had to learn. Again, for my parents and my adults with these children, dropping them off at school and daycare, you have to visit once a week. It is time to get involved. We can't just sit back and look at some other tragedy or some other family. That could be us. We need to learn from that. Don't just say that's messed up. We got to learn from it and begin to take measures in our own lives. So make sure it don't happen in our lives. Not that we don't care about, we care about other people too. It's unfortunate that had to happen. It's terrible, man. It could have been prevented. Man, it's terrible. When tragedy happens like that, we got to prevent these school shootings. We got to do something. We got to stop it. We got to prevent it. I know I keep saying this, but we got to marinate it. It's more than just a saying, brothers and sisters. Ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion. I'm going to keep on volunteering and keep on saluting the faculty. And and I salute Brother Nichols, right on my banner here. Principal Nichols. I just like the way that sounds, for being a cool brother and welcoming me in to his school, I'm glad I did it. And salute to Miss Rainey, the one that actually called me one day after the Daddy Day conference. That's what was at the beginning with Mr. Henry speaking. And I'm telling you, as I always say, we as beings, we never know what's coming down the road. But that great divine always knows. So salute to the current subscribers, new subscriber, anybody that view. I salute you, and may that great divine stay in our lives and help us to prosper and see the things we need to see. And that's important for ourselves, our family, and our youth. So brothers and sisters, generals, family all over the world, may we please keep that ultimate peace in your part of the world, wherever we are right now. Salute.